Chlorine hits my nose, sharp, feet dangling, paperback on my knees, pages warped from the humidity. Don't care. Anna's laugh, bright summer sky, clear bounces off the concrete. Kids splash. Mowers drone beyond the fence. Watch this, Alex, she yells. Pool edge. She's a coiled spring. Azure swim cap matches the sky. Goggles crooked always, too big. Dives all morning, chasing perfection. That's Anna relentless once she's set on something. Dad stands close. Stopwatch glinting vintage. Leather strap, soft with age. Whenever you're ready, champ, he says, voice warm. Feet shuffle on the hot concrete. Damp marks disappearing fast. Anna's face, tight focus. Toes grip the edge, dragonfly moment. Then she's a smooth arc, slicing the water, stroke strong, pushing forward. Mom lowers her magazine, leans forward under the umbrella. Pages ripple in the breeze. Sunglasses slip. Her technique, she murmurs, mostly to herself. Remarkable. I wet my finger to mark my page, drawn in. Water laps at my ankles as Anna finishes another length, ripples spreading. She surfaces, grinning, water dripping from her dark hair, strands escaping her cap. Dad, how was that? Better? Her voice breathy with effort, eyes bright. 3 seconds faster, Dad shouts. Anna whoops, startling sparrows by the fence. She glides to me, eyes blazing, ripples trailing. Someday, she declares, chin on the pool edge, fingers tapping. Olympics, cereal boxes, everything. Water spots the sun-bleached deck. I grin, bookmark my page, toss the book aside. Spine cracked like Dad's stopwatch. Guess I'll be your coach then, I tease. Sun turns the water droplets in her hair into tiny jewels. Anna splashes me. No way, you'll be my biggest fan. Before I can react, she grabs my ankle, chlorine-wrinkled fingers surprisingly strong. The world tilts, my book thumps on the ground. Coolness hits, shocking. I surface, spluttering, to her laughter. The water's a cool caress, erasing the sticky heat. Kids laugh nearby, mixed with the hum of the pool filter and the low rumble of an approaching storm. Sunscreen and hot concrete in the air. Alex! Anna! Dad calls, amusement in his voice. He's moved closer, shadow stretching across the water. Aim high, sweetheart. And Alex! Voice drops. Serious. I pause mid-splash. Always look after your sister. I tread water, meet Anna's beaming gaze. Something shifts inside. Burden, responsibility, a vow. More than just splashing. More than just the afternoon. I will, I reply. The words hang in the air, etching themselves into me. Mom's voice, a soft whisper from her shade. Magazine discarded. She watches us, a knowing smile. As long as you're there for each other, you'll never be alone. She adjusts her hat, face hidden in shadows. Family's the ultimate support system. Anna dives, a blue blur, reappears, serious, an uncanny echo of Mom, a tug in my chest. We'll be the best team ever, she declares. The Martinez siblings, unbeatable. The afternoon stretches. Anna perfects her strokes. I practice underwater handstands, watching her, celebrating small victories. Sun warms the concrete as we finally emerge, wrinkled, content. Other families gather their things. Long shadows stretch across the pool. The air calm like late summer afternoons. Mom and Dad sit close, smiles exchanged, watching us. Just one more lap, Anna begs, lips slightly blue, goosebumps rising on her arms. Please, Dad? I'm so close. Dad glances at his watch, then Mom. All right, champ, one more. Give it your all. I wrap myself in a towel, watching her final effort. She positions herself, adjusts her goggles, enters the water perfectly. She moves, powerful, sure. Pride floods me. I couldn't, no, not then. How moments become sustenance, keeping you afloat when everything tries to sink you. Instinctively, maybe I sensed it. Even now, years later, I taste the chlorine, feel the water, hear her laughter, resonating. Our last truly perfect day. My sister, our parents, me. That realization wouldn't come until later. For now, we're just a family at the pool, hearts bright as the sun, future a wide open horizon. Wipers beat a rhythm against the downpour, squeak squeak, synced with Dad's oldies station. Aina's asleep against my shoulder in the back, her swim medal draped around her neck. Gold flashes in the passing streetlights, lighting up her peaceful face. Mom turns from the front, smile visible in the dimness. You both did great today, she says quietly, not wanting to wake Anna. Third place. Your first serious competition, Anna. And Alex, the support you gave her. She squeezes my knee. You're an amazing brother. Thanks, Mom, I murmur, cheeks warming. The rain intensifies, pounding on the car roof. The world's a blurred wash of neon signs and traffic signals through the streaked windows. Watercolors. Dad grips the wheel tighter, leaning forward. This weather's getting intense, he mumbles, more to himself. Wipers can barely keep up, headlights cutting through the deluge, silver streaks. I'm watching the smeared colors of a storefront sign when everything explodes. A flash, camera bulb bright, Dad shouting something I don't understand. The car lurches, time distorting. Mom's hands fly up, tires screech on the wet asphalt. Anna jolts awake, startled cry swallowed by metal on metal. Brutal impact. The car spins, weightless. For a horrifying second, I float like a leaf. Then gravity slams me back. Glass shatters. Mom's hair across her face. Dad's white knuckles. Anna's metal flashes once before darkness. Warm liquid drips down my face. Metallic taste of blood. Awareness flickers. Distant sirens. Shouts. Rain on hot metal. Gasoline. Burning rubber. Blood. My left eye's covered in something sticky. Anna? My voice. A rasp. Try to turn. Pain searing my neck. Anna. Red and blue lights pulse through the broken windows. Figures move in the downpour, through the broken glass. One carries something small, still. That's my sister. Raw desperation. I strain against the jammed seatbelt. Anna! Anna! Rain streams through the broken windows, mixing with blood and tears. Everything hurts, but not knowing about Anna is worse. Mom and Dad are eerily quiet in the front. Too quiet. A cold certainty, but I push it down. Take it easy, son. A firefighter, helmet gleaming in the emergency lights. We'll get you out. Don't move. Soothing but firm, like Dad with a scraped knee. Dad. Mom. Panic floods me. My parents. Just let us work, okay? He's using a tool on my door. Stay still. Time blurs into chaos. They cut me from the wreckage, carefully place me on a backboard. Rain washes over me as they wheel me toward the ambulance, cleaning the blood, but not the memory. Not this small, lifeless form. Where's my sister? I ask every medical professional. EMT, nurse, doctor. Same answer. She's being cared for. No details terrify me. Hours drag in the emergency room. Tests, questions, more tests, head pounding, 6 stitches in my forehead. When the social worker arrives, her face tells me everything. Alex, she says, sitting in the plastic chair. Ms. Thompson, her name tag reads. Tries to smile, but can't hide the gravity. This is very difficult. They're gone, aren't they? Flat words, no emotion. My calmness surprises me, even as my heart shatters. Mom and Dad. Miss Thompson covers my hand, warm against my cold fingers. Yes, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. The impact. They didn't suffer. I pull my hand away, stare at the window. Outside, the storm is gone. A perfect world, as if nothing happened. Anna? Your sister's stable, Miss Thompson says. Relief washes over me, making me dizzy. Broken arm, minor concussion. She'll be okay. She's asking for you. Take me to her. I try to stand, muscles protesting, IV lines tugging. Please, she needs me. Ms. Thompson hesitates. I freeze. Alex, there's something we need to discuss. Your future. Fluorescent lights intensify. Harsh. What do you mean? You and Anna. There are no immediate family members available. She speaks carefully, measured. We've contacted everyone. Your mother's sister in Florida can only take one child. The others. She gestures helplessly. No. I whisper, then shout. No, you can't separate us. She's all I have. I promised, Dad. My voice breaks. I promised I'd look after her. There's a wonderful foster family. The Smiths, ready to take you. And Ana. I don't care about the Smiths. The monitor beside me beeps faster. She's my family. Please, don't do this. But bureaucracy doesn't care about broken hearts. They allow a brief visit before separating us. Anna's 3 floors up, small against the hospital bed, arm in a cast, butterfly bandage above her eyebrow. Seeing me, her face crumples. Alex? Thin, delicate voice. Is it true about Mom and Dad? I sit carefully on the edge of her bed, gently pull her into my arms. She smells of antiseptic and fear, not yesterday's chlorine and sunshine. Was it really just yesterday? I'm here, I murmur into her hair. Can't say the words she already knows. They're going to split us up. Not a question. Her good hand clutches my gown. I heard them. They can't, can they? You won't let them? This is it. The moment I break my first promise. The moment I know being her big brother isn't enough. Listen. I pull back slightly. Look in her eyes, so much like Mom's. It intensifies the ache. This isn't permanent. I will find you. No matter what. I promise. But I don't want to go. Tears spill. I want to be with you. Please, Alex, don't let them take me. Ms. Thompson enters. Time's up. Anna sees her too, clings tighter, her cast pressing against me. No, I won't go. 5 more minutes, I plead, but the social worker shakes her head. The Smiths are waiting, Alex. And Anna's placement at the group home. A group home? Words hit like a punch. She's only 7. It's temporary, Miss Thompson says. But everything feels temporary now, fragile as ice. Until a permanent solution is found. They pry Anna from me. Her screams echo in the corridor, each one a fresh wound. I stand in the doorway of her empty room, watch them lead her away, shrinking until she's gone. Last image, her face turned toward me, tear-streaked, grief-stricken, a ghost that will haunt my dreams. Later, in Miss Thompson's car, forehead against the cool window. The world outside is distorted, disturbingly normal. People walking, kids biking, families dining behind lit windows. How can life go on as if nothing's been shattered? I touch the spot on my chest where Anna's metal pressed. My fingers find nothing the metal lost, like everything else. But I make another promise, silent, unwavering. I will find her. I will rebuild our family. The car turns onto a quiet street. Ms. Thompson talks about new beginnings, but I don't hear her. I see only Anna's face, Hear her cries, feel the weight of a promise I don't know how to fulfill. The Smith's house smells like cinnamon and polish. Everything's perfect. Ordered a sharp contrast to our old home, with its clutter of swim gear and art projects. Mrs. Smith guides me upstairs, hand hovering near my elbow like I'm made of glass. Maybe I am. This is your room, she says, opening the door to beige walls and matching bedding. We can repaint it any color you like. I enter, clutching my small box of belongings, remnants of my old life. Items rescued before our house was sealed. Anna's spare swim cap, faint smell of chlorine. A family photo from last Christmas. The note she slipped me before they took her, usually neat handwriting, shaky, tear-stained. Thank you, I say automatically, the expected response, even though it hurts. Mrs. Smith, Sarah, she insists, lingers in the doorway, tentative smile. Dinner's in an hour. Lasagna. She hesitates, searching for the right words. Your social worker said it's your favorite. Ms. Thompson's name makes my jaw clench. She did this. Decided the Smiths offer stability, while my sister's in a group home. I'm not hungry. Of course. Sarah's voice softens. Maybe just join us? Mr. Smith wants to get to know you. I place my box on the bed carefully, like it might explode. Maybe it will. Maybe I will. Maybe tomorrow. I lie, avoiding her eyes. I'm exhausted. Silence hangs between us, tight as a stretched string. Finally, she says, "All right, sweetheart. Just know we're here. When you're ready." The door clicks shut, and I'm alone in the unfamiliar quiet. No sound of Anna practicing swim drills outside. No mom humming while folding laundry. No dad's off-key whistling from his workshop. I sit on the bed, pull Anna's note from the box. Paper creased from rereading. Dear Alex, don't forget me. I'll never forget you. We'll see each other again someday. Love, Anna. Words blur, threatening tears. I blink them back. I've used my lifetime supply of tears this week. I stand, pace 5 steps, then back. The plush carpet feels strange under my feet. Downstairs, the Smiths' voices murmur. Plates clink. They're trying for normal, giving me space while trying to make me welcome. Their kindness is a burden. The lasagna's aroma floats up, and my stomach betrays me. Mom's lasagna was unique extra cheese, because Anna and I would fight over the crispy edges. The memory hits hard. I sit, press my hands against my eyes. A light knock. Alex? Mr. Smith this time. I'm heading to the garage. Thought you might want to see. No pressure. I'm silent, hoping he'll leave. But he adds, sometimes, working with your hands helps quiet the mind. Works for me, anyway. His footsteps fade, and I'm drawn to the window. I see the garage. Door open, light spilling into the dusk. Mr. Smith enters, rolling up his sleeves. Without thinking, I'm on my feet, not wanting to connect, but because the perfect silence here is unbearable. Maybe he's right about busy hands. Maybe it will stop Anna's face from appearing every time I close my eyes.
I trudge to my room, the fluorescent lights flickering overhead, drained after another day pretending everything's normal. My swim medals, once proudly displayed, now buried in a shoebox under my bed. Can't stand the sight of them, too much Dad's smile. Mom's encouragement, Alex's cheers. Still brooding, swim girl? Jenny, my roommate, calls out. The nickname, once a source of pride, now drips with sarcasm. I clench my fists, nails digging into my palms. Small crescent marks. The pain is grounding. Every morning, chlorine from the community pool hits me on the walk to school. I slow, watching the swimmers glide, each stroke a reminder of what I lost. Throat tightens. Look away. Quicken my pace until the pool's gone. Grades plummet. Mrs. Patterson, my English teacher, pulls me aside after class. "Anna, your essay's late again." Her voice kind, concerned. I mumble an apology, meaningless words. How can I explain every homework attempt derails into weekend mornings at our pool, Alex timing my laps with Dad's vintage stopwatch. Whispers follow me in the cafeteria. "That's the girl who used to swim," they say, like a myth. What happened to her? The answer sticks in my throat. Everything. Parents gone. Brother vanished. Dreams shattered like our car's windshield. It's during one of those moments, overwhelmed, that I meet James. Different from other staff, younger, kind eyes like Alex's. In the common room, pretending to study. When he sits opposite me, "I hear you were a swimmer," he says quietly, a statement, not a question. I tense, bracing for the usual questions or advice. But he just sits, calm, undemanding. I manage, voice rough. The word tastes bitter. James nods thoughtfully. "I sometimes coach at the Y pools, usually empty early mornings." My heart lurches, a forgotten rhythm. Mention of swimming makes muscles twitch, the pull, kick, breath. For a second, I'm back at our pool. Alex cheering, Mom and Dad smiling. Memory hits. I swallow hard. I don't. I begin, but James just smiles. "No pressure," he says, rising. "But sometimes, being in the water helps us find ourselves." He leaves a small key card access to the Y's pool and walks away. That night, I pull out my old swim cap. Faded, elastic loose, but my fingers tingle with a flicker of hope. I rub my thumb over the worn silicone, remembering Alex snapping it as he passed. The memory is less painful than usual. Maybe, just maybe, it's time to return to the water. The Y's pool at 5 a.m. is a sanctuary. Surface gleams under the dim lights. My footsteps echo. Heart races as I stand at the edge, toes curling over the rough concrete. Chlorine fills my lungs, and for a moment, I'm 12 again. Fearless, full of dreams. "Take your time," James says softly behind me. He's been here every morning this week, patient, even though I haven't entered the water. Just watching, remembering how to breathe. Today feels different. Muscles ache with a longing I've suppressed for years. Without thinking, I dive. Water's a familiar embrace. Cool. My body remembers what my mind tried to erase: the pull, the glide, the rhythm. I surface, gasping, not from effort but from sudden emotion. Tears mix with chlorinated water. "I forgot," I whisper, treading water. "I forgot how this feels." James leans against the starting block, empathetic. "The water remembers you," he says simply. "Want to try a few laps?" First strokes are awkward, rusty. But with each turn, each breath, something unlocks. The water doesn't judge my past, doesn't ask about my losses. It just supports me, guides me, welcomes me back. Weeks turn into a routine. Morning swim's my anchor. Jenny's taunts lose their sting after 20 laps before breakfast. Mrs. Patterson notices the change essays submitted on time. Focus sharp from the morning ritual. "Your freestyle's improving," James says one morning, stopwatch in hand. The sight of it still tightens my chest. Dad's old stopwatch is gone, but the pain's dull now, not a searing wound. I stop at the wall, push up my goggles. Alex used to say I looked like a drunken seal when I breathed to my left. The memory surfaces, and for once I don't push it away. He'd make seal noises until I laughed and swallowed water. James sits on the pool deck, feet dangling in the water. "Tell me about him," he says gently. Not a command, just an invitation. I've never spoken about Alex here. The pain was too raw. But now, buoyed by the water, the words come. "He was the best brother," I begin, voice trembling slightly. "Couldn't swim, but never missed a meet." Made these ridiculous signs. Morning light filters through the windows, gilding the water as I talk. For the first time in years, memories don't threaten to drown me. They float beside me, precious, painful, perfect. James becomes more than a coach, the first since Alex to truly see me. Not the orphan swimmer, troubled teen, but simply Anna. On bad days, when memories overwhelm, he knows what to say, or when to remain silent. One morning, a nightmare about the accident, I thrashed through my laps, fueled by anger. James lets me exhaust myself before calling me over. "You're fighting the water," he says, cross-legged on the deck. "It's not your enemy, Anna." I grip the edge, knuckles white. Everything feels like my enemy some days. He considers this. "You know what I see when you swim? I see resilience. Not just physical, your butterfly's impressive, but the kind that endures even when it hurts. The kind that gets up at 5 a.m. to face your fears." His words resonate. I duck under, tears sting with the chlorine. When I resurface, James is there, patient. "I miss them so much," I whisper, voice echoing in the empty pool. Sometimes, it physically hurts. Tears escape again. Alex promised we'd stay together, but they took him too. Missing them doesn't make you weak, Anna. And neither does healing. That evening, first time since arriving, I pull out the box of medals. Each one whispers a story, races one. Mom's tears, Dad's hugs, Alex's celebrations. I touch the ribbons, remembering how Alex helped me hang them, carefully straightening each. Jenny enters, sees the box, and for once, no sarcasm. Maybe she sees something different, or maybe the medals evoke a sense of reverence. She just nods and goes back to her side of the room. Later that week, I enter my first competition since the accident. Small local meet, nothing like the state championships I once dreamed of. James stands where Alex should be, but somehow, it feels right. Different, but right. As I take my mark, pre-race jitters return. But also something else, homecoming, reclaiming a lost part of myself. The horn sounds, and I dive. I don't win, don't place. But as I touch the wall, I hear cheers. James is grinning, like I won an Olympic medal. And for a second, I almost hear Alex's voice in the crowd. Still my biggest fan. That night, I write in my journal for the first time in years. "Dear Alex, I'm swimming again. I think you'd be proud. Not the same girl they took you from, but maybe that's okay. The water taught me something. Even when everything changes, some things like love, memory, a perfect lap, those things endure. Haven't forgotten you, never will. But I'm learning to keep swimming, one stroke at a time. Love, Anna." Next morning, I'm back at the pool before sunrise. As I dive in, the water welcomes me, but it feels different now. Not just an escape, but a homecoming. Not just survival, but renewal. Each stroke, I rewrite my story, moving forward, not just treading water.
I've memorized every swimming result from the past 8 years. Names blur on my laptop at 3 a.m., but I keep searching, any trace of Anna. The Smith's house is silent, just my computer and the kitchen clock ticking downstairs. Anna's swim cap's beside my keyboard, faded pink silicone, stretched and worn. I rub my thumb over it, a nervous habit. Sometimes I imagine a faint chlorine scent, but probably just wishing. "You need sleep, honey," Mom Smith says from the doorway, concern on her face. After all these years, she still checks on me when I'm up late. "Just one more database, I promise," a familiar lie. She puts a mug of chamomile tea on my desk or routine and squeezes my shoulder. "You'll find her, Alex," she says softly. "But this won't help. Truth is, I've exhausted myself countless times, driven to meets for hundreds of miles, studying faces, contacted every social worker who'd listen, mostly privacy policies and legal jargon, hired a PI even, drained my savings. The PI's last report sits in my drawer, conclusion mocking, whereabouts unknown. Like my sister's just another cold case, a file to be forgotten. But I remember everything. Her practicing freestyle while watching Olympic swimmers on TV, her meticulous braiding before meets, believing it was good luck, the tremor in her voice as they took me away. Don't forget me, as if I could. The tea cools as I open another search window. High school swim team rosters. Ana'd be 17 now, team captain, maybe breaking records, like she always dreamed. Unless I push away the dark thoughts. She's out there. Has to be. And I made a promise. My search history tells a story. Anna Foster swimming competitions, foster care success stories, how to find a separated sibling, missing person databases. Tonight, I'm cross-referencing meet results with group home locations. The spreadsheet would impress my stats professor. Dawn breaks before I finally close my laptop. Downstairs, Dad Smith sits at the table with his coffee and crossword. He doesn't look up, but I know he's been waiting. French toast? He asks casually, like cooking at 5 a.m. is normal. Cinnamon and butter fills the kitchen. My stomach rumbles despite the exhaustion. I found something last night, I say between bites. A regional meet 3 years ago, and Anna set a record in the 200-meter freestyle. Her time. My voice fades as Dad Smith's face softens. Alex, he says gently, how many Annas have you tracked down now? I push my plate away, the sweetness bitter now. 17, I admit. But this one's different. The timing. And you'll drive there, like the last 3 times, watch all day, and come home crushed. He sets down his coffee. Son, we want you to find her. But this, I promised her. I interrupt, voice sharp. I promised, and I fail. Silence between us, heavy with unspoken words. Dad Smith reaches across, takes my hand. Firm grip. You were a child, Alex. It wasn't your fault. But it's not about fault. It's about the empty space beside me at every milestone: graduation, college, first job. The times I've turned to share something with her and find only air. Later, at the library, shelving books, my phone buzzes. Another email from a social worker. Dear Mr. Smith, while we cannot disclose, I don't bother reading. The wall of policy, protecting my sister from the one person who'd die for her. My fingers brush against Anna's swim cap in my pocket. I carry it everywhere, a talisman. Some days I wonder if she still swims, if she remembers Dad timing her laps, or Mom packing extra towels because she'd always forget hers. Mostly, I wonder if she remembers me. The lead takes me to Rochester. I'm efficient now. Arrive early, get a spot in the bleachers, and wait. Chlorine hits, and hope battles with dread. An elderly woman at the desk catches my eye. Can I help you? I hand her the printout. Information on an Anna Foster. Competed here 3 years ago? My voice, steady now, practiced. She squints at the paper, then her computer. Foster. Oh, Anna. Sweet girl. Moved to California with her family 2 years ago. Wrong, Anna. Again. I thank her, go back to my car, and sit for a moment, forehead against the steering wheel. Disappointment is familiar, but still hurts. My phone rings. Mom Smith. She doesn't ask my location, she knows. Come home, sweetheart. I made pasta. Back in my room, I update the database. Another dead end. Another Anna Foster who isn't mine. The file is huge. A testament to years of searching. Dad Smith calls it an obsession. Maybe he's right. But what's the alternative? Giving up? I open my drawer, pull out the small box. Swim cap. Faded photo from our last summer. Her note. Paper thin from unfolding. But her childish handwriting still clear. Don't forget me. I'll never forget you. I haven't. I whisper to the empty room. I'm still looking. A new email notification, another automated response. But beneath it, something different. A newsletter from the hospital where I volunteer, listing new admissions. Almost delete it, but a name snags my attention. Anna Foster. Hands tremble as I click the link. No photo, just basic info. Probably another false hope. But something feels different. I grab my keys, the swim cap in my hand. Mom Smith calls as I rush past the kitchen. Alex, where are you going? I found her. I call back, voice cracking. I think I really found her. Maybe tomorrow, another dead end. Maybe this Anna Foster's just another name. But tonight, I let myself believe. Because that's what big brothers do. The hospital lights gleam against the darkening sky. And somewhere inside, there's an Anna Foster waiting. Heart pounds with 8 years of hope, fear, and longing. This time I think, please, let it be her. I park, breathe deeply, and step into the night. One way or another, I'm about to find out if my sister is still out there, still remembering me. The hospital corridor seems endless, footsteps echoing. Room 412. Numbers blur as I hesitate at the door. 8 years searching, now just a thin barrier between me and Heartbreaker, my sister. I touch the swim cap in my pocket, a familiar comfort. Through the door's window, I see a woman by a bed, back to me, but her dark hair falls in waves, longer now. She's reading to the man in the bed, James, the chart said. Her voice, muffled, is painfully familiar. I've rehearsed this a million times, planned every word. But here, mind's blank, heart hammered. What if she doesn't recognize me? What if she doesn't want to see me? The door creaks open, and she turns. Time warps. Her eyes, Mom's eyes, widen in recognition. The book falls, a soft thud amplifying the silence. Anna, I breathe, voice catching on the name I've cherished for 8 years. She rises slowly, afraid to break the spell. Hands tremble, throat works as she tries to speak. She's taller, but the little girl who demanded piggyback rides to the pool is still there. It's me. I manage. Words not enough. I'm your brother. A sound escapes her, half gasp, half sob. She covers her mouth, tears spilling over her fingers. Alex? My name, in her voice. It shatters something inside me. I step forward. She moves too. We collide, arms wrapping around each other, desperate. She smells different coffee and antiseptic, not chlorine. And Mom's shampoo, but her embrace is the same. My sister, my Anna, I thought. She chokes out against my shoulder, tears soaking my shirt. They told me you. The unfinished sentences hang in the air, heavy with unspoken fears. I know. The lies, the broken promises. I never stopped looking. I say, vision blurring. Not for a single day. She pulls back slightly, hands gripping my arms like I might vanish. Her face older, etched with the years I missed, but her eyes are the same bright, fierce, overflowing. You grew, she says, watery laugh escaping, and we're both laughing and crying, overwhelmed by this impossible reunion. James watches from the bed, quiet understanding, though questions linger. Anna turns to him, still holding my arm. James, this is my brother. Alex, brother. The word rings true, clear. We sit side by side, shoulders touching, 8 years of separation making us crave physical contact. James dozes, pulled under by medication, but his presence feels right, a witness to this miracle. You're really here, Anna repeats, fingers laced with mine. She traces lines on my palm like deciphering a map of our lost years. I dreamed this, but then I'd wake up, and voice breaks. I know, I say softly, understanding the ache of hopeful dreams that vanish into lonely reality. Tell me everything, she demands, turning to face me. Where have you been? What happened after? She stops, the shadow of that rainy day darkening her face. The Smiths, I begin, showing photos on my phone. They took me in. Good people, Anna. Never tried to replace Mom and Dad, but gave me a home, helped me search for you. She studies the photos, finger hovering over the screen. You look happy, she says, the unspoken question hanging in the air. I am. But it wasn't complete. I squeeze her hand. Someone was missing. The fluorescent lights flicker, casting distorted shadows. I catch glimpses of our younger selves, Anna, practicing swim drills in the living room, me timing her with Dad's stopwatch. Did you keep swimming? I ask, knowing the answer from my research. She shakes her head, body tensing slightly. I couldn't, not for a long time, hurt too much. She glances at James. Then I met him. He helped me find my way back. Tell me about him, I say. I need to know about the man who supported my sister when I couldn't. He worked at the group home, she explains. Soft smile. He saw how broken I was, and waited until I was ready to heal. She adds quietly, he reminds me of you, the way he believes in me. The words strike a painful chord. All these years, I was her big brother from a distance, clinging to memories and promises, while someone else stood by her, helping her heal. I should have been there, I whisper, guilt returning. Anna's grip tightens. Don't, she says fiercely. We were children, Alex. They took you. It wasn't your fault. A nurse interrupts to check James's vitals, and we fall silent, lost in thoughts. When she leaves, Anna turns to me, tears welling again. I kept your picture, she admits. The one from my 10th birthday, cake in your hair. I looked at it every night, promising myself I'd find you. I pull out her swim cap. I kept this. Her breath hitches as she takes it, fingers tracing the faded pink silicone. You remembered, she whispers. I never forgot, I say. Not a single day. As evening falls, painting the room in soft hues, we piece together our lives. Anna describes the group home, the dark days when swimming felt like drowning. I talk about the Smiths, searching for her at every meet. I used to imagine you'd show up, she admits, holding a cold cup of coffee, at a competition, like a movie. But then I stopped, and I thought. She swallows hard. I thought maybe you'd never find me. I almost did once, I say. 3 years ago, an Anna Foster at a regional meet in Rochester. She laughs, a hint of sadness. That's why I stayed with James after his surgery. I was afraid if I left, even for a moment. Her voice trails off, and I understand. We're both afraid this is just another dream. James stirs. Anna immediately attends to him. I watch her adjust his blanket, and something clicks. He's your anchor, I say quietly. Like the pool used to be. She nods, brushing hair from James's forehead. He showed me it was okay to need someone again. After losing everyone, she turns back to me, eyes shining. But you were my first anchor, Alex. My big brother who promised to always be there. The words evoke a torrent of memories, teaching her to float, cheering at her first competition, holding her at the funeral. I'm sorry I couldn't keep that promise, I whisper. She pulls me into another hug. But you did, she insists. You never stopped looking. You're here now. My phone buzzes, Mom Smith checking in. I show Anna the text, eyes welling at the message. Did you find her? I want to meet them too, Anna says softly. The people who cared for my brother. I type a quick reply. Yes, she's real. She's here. and turn back to my sister. The setting sun bathes the room in golden light, like mornings at our old pool. Anna must be thinking the same thing, because she smiles that familiar smile, crinkling her nose, just like Mom's. "Remember Dad calling us his sun and moon?" she asks. I nod, throat tight. "Because you were bright and bold like the sun, and you were steady and constant like the moon," she finishes. We sit in comfortable silence, two celestial bodies finally realigned. Tomorrow, more stories, more tears, more lost time to reclaim. But tonight, in this quiet room, we are simply brother and sister, reunited. James sleeps peacefully, rhythmic beep of his heart monitor reassuring. Life continues. Healing is possible. Love finds its way home. "Alex?" Anna says softly. Thank you for remembering me." I reach for her hand in the dim light. "Always, little sister, always." Watching Anna care for James, my breath catches. Her tenderness, the way she adjusts his pillow, monitors his Vitalsa dance I've missed for years. The hospital room's harsh fluorescent lights, but Anna softens everything. "You don't have to stay," she says, fingers intertwined with James. My rediscovered sister, still possessing that determined spark. "I want to," I reply, throat tight. "I've missed enough." James drifts in and out, face serene despite the equipment. When awake, his eyes follow Anna with tenderness. She tells me how they met him watching her return to the pool, lap by lap, until the water became her sanctuary. "He never pressured me," Anna whispers. "Just sat there reading while I found my way back." Stories flow between us. I describe the Mrs. Smith's baking experiments, Mr. Smith teaching me about engines. Anna listens, tears welling when I mention them keeping her swim cap. "I want to meet them," she says, squeezing James' hand. Our family." Her words constrict my chest. "They've been asking about you since I found you. Mrs. Smith's already planning a welcome dinner." A week later, Anna stands nervously on the Smith's porch, clutching flowers. Door opens, and Mrs. Smith's face shines with pure joy. "Anna," she breathes, pulling my sister into a tight hug. "We've waited so long." Dinner's a symphony of conversation. Anna discusses her coaching, sharing her love of swimming with kids. Mr. Smith tells embarrassing stories from my adolescence, making Anna laugh until she cries. Later, I find Anna and Mrs. Smith washing dishes, voices hushed. Anna speaks of gratitude, of family, and Mrs. Smith pulls her close, whispering words I can't hear. But I see Anna's shoulders tremble, see Mrs. Smith stroking her hair like a mother. I slip outside, heart overflowing. I've spent nights here, stargazing, wondering where Anna was. Now she's inside, part of the family that saved me. James recovers steadily, joins us for Sunday dinners. He fits in, discussing cars with Mr. Smith, helping Mrs. Smith with baking. Watching them, I realize we're creating something new, not replacing what we lost, but building something equally precious. One evening, Anna finds me in the garage, working on an old radio. "You know," she says, perching on a workbench, "I used to imagine your life, hoped you had people who loved you." I set down my tools, meeting her gaze. "I did, and now they love you too." I see Anna studying the family photos on the living room wall, me graduation, fishing trips with Mr. Smith holidays. Her fingers trace the glass, lingering on the empty spaces where she should have been. "We'll make new memories," I tell her, and she turns, watery smile. "I've missed so much," she whispers. "Feels like a puzzle with missing pieces." Next weekend, Mrs. Smith organizes a barbecue, Laughter fills the backyard as James teaches me his marinade, while Anna and Mrs. Smith set up tables. Mr. Smith mans the grill, his dad jokes eliciting groans. "You have Dad's squint when you concentrate," Anna says as I measure spices. The comment sends a bittersweet pang. "Remember him timing your laps with his stopwatch?" I ask, and Anna nods, eyes distant. "I still hear him cheering." She wipes her hands. "That's why I coach, to give other kids what he gave us." James joins us, his movements still cautious. "You should see her with the kids," he says proudly. "They adore her." Later, Anna invites me to watch her coaching session. The pool buzzes with energy. Anna moves gracefully, encouraging and correcting. "Elbow high, Katie," she calls, like we practiced. From the bleachers, I'm back to our father coaching her. A little girl climbs out, shivering, and Anna wraps her in a towel like our mother. "Your sister's incredible," Mrs. Smith says, settling beside me. She's a regular fixture at Anna's sessions, a surrogate grandmother. "She is," I agree, watching Anna demonstrate the butterfly. Her movements, fluid, powerful, a dance she never forgot. That evening, over leftovers, Anna shows me her students' progress charts, eyes shining as she talks about their accomplishments. "Sometimes," she admits, "when I'm teaching them, I feel like I'm healing that little girl who lost everything." I squeeze her hand. "You didn't lose everything. We found each other." Mrs. Smith pulls out a new photo album, already filling Anna's first dinner, James's welcome home party, the barbecue. Anna traces images, now part of the narrative. "I never thought I'd have this again," she says, looking around at us. "A family. Family finds a way," Mrs. Smith replies, putting an arm around her. "Sometimes it just takes a different path." Her words resonate, and I watch Anna lean into the embrace. Finally home. "You know what's funny?" Anna says one evening on the back porch. Jasmine hangs in the air, crickets chirping. "I used to dream of moments like this. Just being together. Normal." I nod, understanding. These ordinary moments are precious, watching James and Mr. Smith debate baseball, helping Mrs. Smith garden, while Anna recounts swim team stories. "Remember Dad trying to build that treehouse?" I ask, and Anna laughs. "It was so crooked. Mom said it looked like something out of Dr. Seuss." Memories no longer sting. Softened, shared treasures, not hidden wounds. Inside, Mrs. Smith hums as she bakes another cake experiment, trying to recreate our mother's recipe from Anna's descriptions. "She didn't have to do any of this," Anna says softly. "Taking us in like this. That's who they are," I reply, watching the sunset. "They have enough love to share." James appears, looking stronger. "Mrs. S says dinner's ready," he announces, joining us. Anna makes space for him, their easy familiarity evident. "I never properly thanked you," I tell him, "for being there for Anna." He shakes his head. "She saved herself. I just reminded her she could." Mrs. Smith calls us in, and we gather at the table, her unconventional, perfect family. Mr. Smith says grace, thanking God for bringing us together, and Anna's hand finds mine under the table. Later, after James leaves, Anna helps Mrs. Smith arrange flowers. Their heads are close, sharing a joke. My heart swells. "Quite a pair," Mr. Smith says, joining me. "Your sister. She's brought something special here." "You've all brought something special to our lives," I correct him. He claps my shoulder, eyes suspiciously bright. Anna catches my eye, smiles bright, determined. But now it holds something new: peace, belonging, hope. We found our way home. Different paths, unexpected turns, but we've arrived where we belong. "Alex," Anna calls. Come help with these flowers. You're better at arranging them. And I do. Joining my family in this simple, perfect moment, knowing that whatever comes next, we'll face it together. My hands tremble, completing another college application. Social work, University of Michigan. The words blur, doubts whispering. Anna's voice drifts up from the kitchen making tea. Her evening visits, my anchor, but sometimes lost time feels heavy. You're overthinking again, she says, appearing with 2 mugs. I take the tea, the warmth comforting. I should have found you sooner, I blurt out. Stop. Anna sets her mug down firmly. Alex, look at me. I meet her gaze mom's eyes, breathtakingly familiar. You were a child too, she says gently, dealing with the same grief. And you did find me. That's what matters, but the guilt lingers. I see your life, your team, James, everything. Anna's expression softens. She pulls up a chair, our knees touching. Remember when we were little, and I was scared of the high dive? I nod. Memory vivid Anna. 7, trembling at the edge, while I waited below. You said something. Remember? I said I'd catch you, I whisper. And you did, every time. She squeezes my hand. That's who you are, Alex. The brother who catches me. The timing doesn't change that. I stare at our joined hands, throat tight. I want to help kids like us. But what if I'm not? If you say good enough, I'm pouring this tea on you. Anna warns, eyes kind. Katie's mom called yesterday. Katie talks about Coach Anna's brother all the time. How you taught her to float when she was scared. I smile, remembering. She just needed someone to believe in her. Exactly. Anna's voice firm. Like we did. And that's what you'll give them, someone who understands, who believes. We sit quietly, sipping tea. Through the window, Mrs. Smith teaches James to prune roses. The scene is serene, complete. I have this dream, Anna says suddenly. A program for foster kids, free swim lessons, water safety, maybe even competitive training. Something just for them. My heart swells with pride, recognizing the little girl who dreamed of Olympic glory, that determination now focused on helping others. Tell me more, I encourage, watching her eyes light up. I've been researching, she says, pulling out her phone, showing me her notes. Swimming can boost self-esteem, create a sense of security, for foster kids especially. Having control in the water, learning to trust themselves. She pauses, lost in thought, and I see both versions of her, the little sister who splashed in our backyard pool, and the strong woman who transformed pain into purpose. Funding will be challenging, she continues. Pool time is expensive, and we'll need equipment, instructors. I can help with that, I offer. After graduation, social workers know how to write grant proposals. Anna's smile widens. See? This is why we needed to find each other. We're stronger together. Later, I visit Anna at the pool. She's teaching butterfly, movements precise and fluid. One teenager struggles, frustration evident. Anna enters the water, demonstrating rhythm. Remember, dolphins, she says. They don't fight the water, they become part of it. The girl tries again, movements smoother now. Her triumphant expression mirrors Anna's at that age. You're amazing with them, I tell Anna as we walk to her car. You give them confidence. She bumps my shoulder. Learned from the best. Remember helping me with homework? You never gave me the answers, just helped me figure things out. The memory resonates o'er kitchen table, math problems dissected, Anna chewing her pencil, Mom bringing snacks, Dad's voice calling, "How's it going, scholars?" Anna must see my emotion. "Hey," she says softly, "they'd be proud of us, Mom and Dad." You think so? I know so. She looks at the emerging stars. Sometimes I feel them watching, like they knew we'd find each other. We reach her car, but neither of us moves. The spring air is warm, chlorine and possibility. I've been thinking, Anna says, playing with keys. We could start small, a pilot program this summer. A few kids, test the waters. I groan at the pun, making her laugh. I'm serious, she insists. James has contacts at social services, and Mrs. Smith volunteered for snack duty. The idea takes hold, blossoming. We could call it making waves, we say simultaneously, laughing at the synchronicity. Warmth spreads through me, unrelated to the temperature. You really think we can do this? Together? Anna raises an eyebrow. We can do anything. The next few weeks, whirlwind. Aina develops lesson plans. I research legalities. James uses connections. Smiths convert garage into storage. One evening, sorting through donated suits, Anna says, I used to be so angry. I pause, looking at her. She keeps sorting. Not at you, she clarifies. At the system, fate, everything. But now, she gestures at preparations. Now I feel like maybe it all led to this. Every hardship prepared us to help others. I understand. Every class, every theory about trauma echoes our story. Building a bridge between past and future, connecting fragments. Dad always said everything happens for a reason. I say, yeah, she smiles, folding a tiny suit. He also said, we should dream big. Mrs. Smith brings lemonade, watching us. You two remind me of your parents, she says softly. They'd be so proud. Later, I find Anna by the pool, feet in water. Motion sensor lights create dancing patterns on her face. Penny for your thoughts? I ask, sitting beside her. Thinking about that day, she says. When Dad told you to always be there for me. She turns to me, eyes shining. You kept that promise, even when everything fell apart. And now we're keeping it for other kids. I finish. She nods, leaning her head on my shoulder. Water ripples, reflecting stars. I feel complete note despite our scars, but because of them. Every broken piece, every lost year has shaped us. Ready for tomorrow? I ask. Our first Making Waves session. Ready, she says, grinning mischievously. Race you to the deep end? She dives, laughter echoing. I follow without hesitation, like I always have, like I always will. Because some promises are eternal, some dreams are meant to be shared. Together, we create new memories while honoring the old, creating ripples that will extend beyond us. Swimming under the stars, I know this is exactly where we're meant to be. I adjust my tie, trying to quell nerves. First day as a social worker. The certificate on my wall, Alexander Foster, MSW, still feels unreal. Beside it, a graduation photo. Me, Anna, James, and the Smiths. You'll be late, Anna calls from downstairs. She's ready for her swim class, hair in its usual ponytail. Coffee and cinnamon rolls fill the kitchen, Mrs. Smith's first day tradition. Can't start a new chapter on an empty stomach, she always says. Nervous? Anna asks, handing me coffee. A little, I admit. Want to make a difference for these kids. You will, she says confidently. Because you understand, you've been there. I think about the case files, waiting children separated, displaced, carrying hidden wounds, but also children with dreams, resilience, and the capacity for joy. Making Waves has its first graduation next week, Anna reminds me, eyes shining. The program exceeded all expectations. Katie's giving the speech, she continues. Remember when she wouldn't put her face in the water? I do. I also remember her helping younger kids, becoming a leader, just like Anna. James arrives, ready to take Anna to the pool. Their relationships evolved, but they're taking their time. When it's right, Anna once said. And this is right. Ready for the big day? James asks, grabbing a cinnamon roll. I stand, straightening my tie, as ready as I'll ever be. Mr. Smith offers a ride. For luck. In the car, I watch the familiar streets. Mr. Smith hummed same tune he hummed, teaching me auto repair, helping me study, comforting me during heartbreaks. You know, he says, the day we met, you were so quiet, so guarded. I remember the crushing weight of grief. Look at you now, he continues, voice thick with pride. Your parents would be. I know, I whisper, feeling their presence, not a shadow, but a guiding light. Mr. Smith drops me off. Go change some lives, son. The day's a blur of meetings and paperwork, but one moment stands out. A teenage girl, slumped in my office, brother beside her, faces mirror my past. We don't want to be separated, the boy says defiantly. I lean forward. Then we'll do everything we can to keep you together. Later, I find myself at the pool. Anna's finishing a making waves session, air filled with happy sounds. I watch her demonstrate backstroke, movements graceful. Good job, Marcus, she calls. See, the water will always hold you if you trust it. After the kids leave, we sit by the pool, the setting sun painting the water. How was your first day? Anna asks. I tell her about the siblings, the promise I made. Like looking in a mirror, she nods. That's why you'll be great. You know what they need. We sit quietly, watching the water. Mrs. Smith is preparing dinner, a celebration for my first day. Pot roast fills the air. Do you think Mom and Dad knew? Anna asks. How things would turn out? I think about our father's words at this very pool. Dream big, Anna. And Alex, always be there for your sister. Maybe not exactly, I say, but I think they knew we'd find our way back. Create something good. Anna smiles, bright, determined. We did more than that. We're helping other kids find their way. James calls us in for dinner. The Smiths' backyard is lit up, a beacon. Soon, it'll be filled with family, the one we've chosen, the one we've built. Race you to dinner? Anna suggests, eyes twinkling. I laugh, standing. Some things never change. But some things do, she adds softly. They get better. Looking at Hermie's sister, my friend, my anchor, I know she's right. We've come full circle, transforming wounds into sources of hope. As we join our family, I think about all the children out there, carrying their own stories. Today, I helped too. Tomorrow, there'll be more. And Anna will keep teaching them to trust the water, to trust themselves. Together, we honor our parents' legacy, helping other children find their way home. And that is the greatest dream of all.